Hi friends, I want to talk to you for a minute about the meaning of the word Gentile, Gentiles. This word is found in the New Covenant 164 times. It's interesting, one of our favorite verses, Jewish believers, is Romans 11:26, and says, and so all Israel will be saved. That's our banner, that's our hope. But actually it doesn't say all Israel will be saved, it says, and so all Israel will be saved. In other words, something happens in verse 25 that causes verse 26 that all Israel will be saved. And what is that? Let's read it. Romans 11:25 says, I would not that you, brethren, would be ignorant of this mystery, that you would be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in. So let's make that real simple. The fullness of the Gentiles brings about the salvation of Israel. Step one, step two. Fullness of the Gentiles brings about the salvation of Israel. The Gentiles can't do without Israel. Israel can't do without the Gentiles. We're just linked together. Kind of like you got to have a husband and wife to have a baby. You can't have one without the other. Now, it's interesting that this word Gentiles, for those of us with Jewish ears, you kind of hear two different things. There's kind of a negative sound to it. The word Gentiles, we said, is in Hebrew we call it goy, which means a non-Jew, a non-member of the covenant, even pagan. Well, I looked it up in the Greek, and I was a little surprised. You know what the word for in the Greek New Covenant is for Gentiles? It's simply ethnos. What is ethnos? It's an ethnic group. In other words, there's nothing negative about that word. It's not that the word Jew is a good word and Gentile is a bad word. It's talking about the Jewish people themselves are a goy. They are an ethnic group, and we're talking about other ethnic groups. So we're saying when the international community, the community of many different ethnic groups, comes together and has prayer for Israel, it will bless Israel. But I want to talk about what that means about how we look at people. For us as Jewish people, there is no looking at any other race of people as second-class people. The word Gentile, there is no word Gentile. It's ethnic. It's ethnic group. So there is no place for that tendency for us to speak of the ethnic groups as something evil. We Jewish people ourselves, we're an ethnic group, and all the other national groups, they're their own ethnic groups. They are Gentiles, they are ethnos. That's a huge root inside of our people of ethnic pride that we need to be cleansed of that so that we can understand God's purposes not only for our own ethnic group, but for all the ethnic groups around. Really, I don't think there is such a thing as a Gentile Christian. You're talking about people who are believers in Jesus. Christians from every different ethnic group around the world, including us. We're Jewish people. We have our ethnic group. We respect one another in our different ethnic groups. Let's get all that racial pride and ethnic pride out, and we're all just different ethnic groups, all made by God, and God has a beautiful plan and destiny for one another and for all of us, and we're supposed to bless one another together. All the ethnic groups and Israel's our own mutual blessing. Let's pray about it.